Live and direct from Disruption Network Studios, it is EC Radio time. How are you, people? Hope you're enjoying your hump day. The Wacky Wednesday continues, and it's definitely going to get a little wacky here in just a little bit. Before we get a little wacky, give love to my sponsors. Thank you to Eddie over at EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his fine staff at ejamoving.com or 315-335-0516. There is not a task they can't handle. They'll pretty much move whatever you got to throw at them. So, and also they give you free boxes too. So if you're moving, if you're looking to get out of state, out of country, out of town, they'll give you free boxes. They'll pack up your boxes. They'll move your boxes, and then they'll unpack your boxes. That's how cool they are. It's pretty cool. All you got to do is pretty much point to them, like put that there, put that there, put that there, and their job is done. Awesome, awesome people over at EJA Moving. Hit them up today, 315-335-0516. Call my attorney, Dave Longaretta, if you need legal advice. Give him a call at 315-735-6162. Shout out to Utica Coffee. Always, I love my folks over at Utica Coffee. Today we're drinking the Sumatra. Heather, you digging the Sumatra?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could say that.
Yeah.
I haven't had this flavor yet. This is all we drink at our house. I haven't had this flavor yet. It's really good.
This is the first time I'm having it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like a fruity thing on the palate going on. I don't know if that's supposed to
Wait. Let's see.
But I just brushed my teeth, so I got to give it a minute.
I got a coffee thing on the back end. Fruity, huh? You're tasting fruity?
Yeah, something sweet. I don't know. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, so good though.
We have to be like wine. Like you got to take it in.
You got to take it in, and then is that how you do it?
Breathe air at the same time.
Let it filter around your mouth a little bit.
Anyone have any cheese?
Do you gargle?
No, I don't think. Well, yeah, I guess you. Have you ever been to a wine tasting? They make you do different things to feel the different tones.
I've never been to a fancy one, but one where you just kind of go around and take a
I don't think I've ever been to a fancy one. We're usually hammered as we're walking out. But
right.
I don't know if you call that too fancy.
Well, the one I'm thinking you're thinking of is a fancy one where they make you like taste it and you grade it and stuff like that. I'm just like walking around sampling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So they would explain like, okay, because this has a hint of orange or a hint of cherry. Like this is how you get that to come out. And then they would teach you like, okay, roll your tongue and breathe the air in, and it would really happen. So if there was like a peach underlying tone, you would taste it.
So rolling your tongue and all that really helps.
Well,
it helps taste.
Not so much rolling it, but like breathing air in as the wine is still on your palate.
Huh.
So it would like bring another taste out. Yeah.
Let's try it with coffee real quick.
I just tried it. It didn't do anything, so. Don't spit it on your mic.
I'm going to drool it all over myself. I get a bib.
Yeah.
I need a bib right now.
I wonder how it tastes when I smell it on my mic.
It's good stuff over at Utica Coffee.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing over there. And they have so many different great blends and flavors. And
yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Wake the hell up. Yeah, I like that jolt.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple different flavors now. They've been mixing like fruit flavors with it, with the Wake the Hell Up too.
Yeah.
So there's
You're making me crazy. That one
too. Yeah.
That's definitely. I think that's Sean's favorite too. That's a house favorite.
That's the house favorite.
I think so. Yeah.
You're right on. Do you guys drink a lot of coffee?
Every day. We actually just upgraded from having a Keurig, making 1 cup at a time, to an actual coffee pot.
Yeah.
So it has the Keurig on the side, so it's like the multi, But we've graduated to the age of having the program where a fresh pot is made every morning. We prepare it the night before.
You set the alarm.
Live their lives on autopilot and wake up in the morning and get their coffee that's already made for them. Like, yeah, I feel like that's a 40-ish, age.
Right.
You're settled down. There's enough people that live in your house that drink the same pot, so you have to have it ready.
Yeah.
So
15 years ago, we were talking about booze and all that, running bars. Now listen to us. We're talking about coffee makers, and I get excited about air fryers.
Yeah, we got one of those this year too.
It's the best thing ever. It changed my life.
Yeah.
Air fryer changed my life. Seriously.
Yeah.
Especially throughout this pandemic. I never cooked for myself ever.
Yeah.
But when this pandemic hit, I was like, I better, I got to save some money. I'm not really making any money.
I need to explore more with it because I feel like the choices I would make for myself are not what we're seeing our family use in the air fryer. So I'm eating not so healthy things, thinking it's healthier. And
it is kind of healthier.
Yes, because it's not double frying. But if you're putting pre-fried foods in there,
right,
and then having the excuse that they're not fried at home, they're already fried. So you're, for me, that's not everyone's cup of tea. But I really enjoy those foods. So when they're in front of me, I don't have the willpower to say no. So I need to learn how to cook fresh chicken and things like that in there, because you can do all that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just leave it. And I'm all about that. Putting something all in something.
Set
and
it,
just
forget
walking
it.
away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait for that ding.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait, that's right. I got food going.
Yeah.
That's
And,
usually
like,
what happens to me.
That's my style of cooking.
Yeah, me too. Set it, forget it.
Easiest.
Yep.
Yeah.
The air fryer and the crock pot is what changed my life too. The crock pot too.
Yeah.
You could just throw a bunch of shit in the crock pot and come back after work, and 6 hours later, boom, you got yourself a nice meal.
Yeah.
For a couple days, and then you freeze it up. And I've been meal prepping. I don't know. I'm an adult now, Heather. I hate it.
That's good. Meal prepping. I still attempt to do that, and I'm not very good at it.
Well, you got it such a big household. I can only imagine what your grocery bill is like every month.
Yeah, I just did that recently. We're at about $800 a month in food.
Wow.
Yeah. And you got to figure too, like we share custody too. So our teenagers, we have half the amount of time. But still, we got Sean, me. I have this.
Well, Sean probably makes up for about $500 out of the $800.
I mean, thank God the kids are 50% because he makes up for the other 50. No, but yeah. So we're a big family. We have 9 people in our family at any given time. So with the kids and everything, and we've had a displaced teen living with us for the last almost 10 months. So who just returned. So that's good. But yeah, big family.
Huge family.
Yeah, lots to. I don't know. It's mentally draining at times, but lots to look forward to every day that we have to be ready for. So
yeah.
Another reason I'm
drink so much coffee. Yeah, for sure.
I actually drink a cup in the morning and a cup in the afternoon usually. That's like my afternoon booster. But other than that, I try not to drink too much. But
you usually crash like right around 1, 2 o'clock or something like that, and get a little punch in the face.
Yeah,
with some of that.
and I try to like push that feeling off till like between 3 and 4 so I can get through the rest of the day, and that's like my afternoon cup. But yeah, it's busy.
How have you been maintaining with the homeschooling? I know you have a couple kids sitting around,
Literally sitting around.
Right.
I mean, it's to the point now, without getting too political, because I don't feel like this has been a political issue. It's been made to be a political issue, but you look at the need of what's happening. In the beginning, we didn't know anything. So this knee-jerk reaction, shut it all down. Like, I get it, and I think I was like on board with that as well, because we have to be careful. We didn't know, but now we have a lot more data, and it's not like... I see what it's doing to my kids, and it's killing me. Because, like, my son is 5 years old. 5 years old, what are you doing at 5 years old? You're outside. You're with the kids. My 2 girls, when they were little, I didn't even know where they were half the time. We lived in a safe area. They were outside with the neighborhood kids. I'd literally go outside and, like, have to look, sometimes even just walk around and find them whose yard they were in, My son hasn't had that experience. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't have kids his age. He's becoming happy being a hermit. I'm like, buddy, let's go to the gym. Let's go to the bank. Let's go somewhere. And he's like, no, and this is what he's become accustomed to.
They're scared to leave the house.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just not used to it. He doesn't care anymore. So he said the other day, if I was the creator of the school, I would never have school like this, and he has no idea that kindergarten is really not supposed to be this way. So I've been to the point I'm like, fuck it. He logs on at 9 o'clock just to get the credit for not being there. And I shut it down at like 10:30. I don't care. The school called me one time, and I guarantee they're not going to call again. Because if you think that your kid is benefiting from sitting there at the computer at 5 years old, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He needs to learn how to write. He needs to learn how to hold a pencil. He needs to learn how to socialize. He needs to learn how to be kind to people. He's been alone all these years. He needs to learn how to share. He needs to learn that when he does something rude, he's going to get blasted in the face on the playground. Like those things that kids need to go through that to kind of learn what it is to have a relationship with somebody, about compromise, hearing what somebody needs, caring about that. You're not getting that through a screen, and that's what he needs right now. So I'm not going to stress it. As far as the teenagers, a bit different need, right? They need more, I think, education to prepare for life and things like that. They need the social interaction as well, time with their friends, but they're getting that. If you think the kids are stopped behind the scenes, that's where the super spreaders are. They're all at each other's houses. It's not even spreading in the schools. They're all at each other's houses, and then, having situations happen. So I don't care anymore. I've gotten to that point.
You just like throwing in the towel?
Literally, I walked, this morning I go upstairs and the 2 ninth graders are laying down on the couch, and they're like this computer screen's like the ceiling fan, like, what are you learning today? Well, and they got their phones in their hands. They don't even want to go in anymore for the hybrid, because at home they can use their notes for all their testing. So who's winning this year? No one.
No one.
So
right.
why am I going to put pressure on them?
Right.
Why? You know?
Are they doing well in school with their grades?
No.
No?
It's progressively gone down.
Has it?
Yeah, I'd say the ninth grader is the worst. My junior, she's good. I think she's more committed and more dedicated and self-disciplined. She doesn't need somebody like on top of her. But I can relate with the younger girls because I was a classroom. I needed to be in person. I needed to be in the front row. I needed to raise my hand and ask questions. I was always that way. So I can relate with them and the struggle it's brought. But again, I haven't put much pressure on because it's not fair. They have given up so much to now have to be expected to perform at the same standards. We're not performing at the same standards. Who the hell are we to think that these kids are going to perform at the same standards? We got Regents coming up. The kids created a change.org petition to cancel the Regents this year because they still haven't been canceled. So we're going to expect them to perform. I'm interested to see what grades come out of those standard exams when we haven't provided the same education behind, what they're measuring. So
Do you feel like it's dumbing them down?
No. Lazy. It's
Just making them
lazier.
lazy. Okay.
Yeah. So kids, you're still going to grow. You're still going to evolve and you're still going to mature. That's science. Our bodies are constantly growing and experiencing and taking it in. So what are we bringing out of the experience? Freaking laziness.
Yeah.
I see that in my own life.
Me
How many
too.
times do you get dressed during the week?
I've been wearing the same pants all week, actually.
I do it too.
To be honest with you. I'm wearing the same sweats and Sunday.
Yeah. And
I even showered today and threw the same pants back on.
10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago, because I haven't had to leave my house until I was coming here.
I was like, wait, Heather's coming over. I'll take a shower.
Yeah. And we're laughing, but that's true.
It's true. That's the truth. Is funny.
And we think our kids are going to be any different than we are.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
With the pandemic, it's definitely made me, at first it was like a party, right? For me, it was like a party. It was like, all right, because you didn't know. It was an uncertainty. Oh, it'll just be a month. It'll just be 2 months. And then I'll be able to get back to work. So let's just party. Let's just do whatever and get crazy and go online and shave my head and do stupid shit, Yeah. And then all of a sudden it creeped in like, wow, this isn't going to stop. So I need to start taking care of my mental health. And then, so I did all summer long, took care of my mental health. And then right around like the holidays, got in this huge depression. Is that my delivery?
I don't know.
One of our fans from the Uncle Louie show sent us a whole bunch of liquor. And it's supposed to be coming in today.
Well, you go get the door.
Well,
no,
I'm not
going
going
to get it?
Yeah.
I'll get it. Hold on.
Will you? You know what? Just leave it open, too. Just leave it open. It is. Hey, it is. Tell him to come in. We take this pause in the action right now to actually get. Thank you. It is my delivery. Hi, buddy. How are you? Well, you're live on. Just set it down right there. Thank you very much. Do I have to sign for it? All right. Thank you, FedEx. All right.
It's a special gift for you. It says it right on the side of the box.
Now back to our regular scheduled program. Yeah, one of our fans at the Uncle Louie show sent us a whole bunch of liquor, and that looks like a big old box. So
yeah, it is. You should open it.
Yeah, we'll save for tomorrow.
Just kidding.
They'll be here tomorrow. Right now, you're here. But and then it just became lazy. And then, like, depression's been a real thing, and it's not just me. It's like everybody I'm surrounded by. Like, there's some silver lining to some things. People are happy. And then all of a sudden, it could change day to day, And it's something we got to, like, really take care of one another, especially through these times.
Yeah.
Because people are starting to freaking lose it.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah,
I see it every day. I see it in myself every day. It's starting to lose it. Do you feel like you're losing it sometimes too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think anyone in my house can attest to that, witnessing like just there's all these things going on and I'm so busy, but nothing's really happening. Like where's the productivity? There's not, so and I've seen it like before I had the baby in July. My workload of clients increased tremendously. And that speaks volumes itself. Mental health was something people were able to consider. But now you're looking at not just mental health, you're looking at the pinch people are feeling financially. And when you start to feel the pinch financially and you start to, experience an actual loss in your life, you'll do whatever it takes to get by. So people don't care anymore. They're, willing to do whatever it takes, which increases criminal activity and other things, So, and then, back to the whole teens thing, teen suicide is more dangerous right now than COVID itself. And that's like another thing they're not taking into consideration, like getting the kids back in school or in some sort of routine with each other because they're concerned about the safety of the spread. But yet teen suicide has gone up so high that it's more, killing more teenagers than COVID itself. So we're losing.
We're
losing big time. Yeah. And this is a worldwide issue. This isn't some like, anti, political campaign or, I don't like so-and-so, so this is how I want to react. This is not, this is an issue worldwide.
Right.
Schools are locked down in countries that I would say have a better standard of living than ours, and they're locked down right now. So this is not just us.
Everywhere's but New Zealand. I think New Zealand's open like 100%.
Yeah, well, because they were down to zero, but they also have their borders closed. So when you get your numbers down to zero, you have to look at the federal, lockdowns. And if we had locked down air travel and things like that, we would have also had a faster response and getting rid of it. But it's too late now.
Way too late.
That's not going to happen. It's saturated in our society. So it's just going to run its course. This is my opinion. I'm not a scientist, but the vaccine is going to be something really crucial to, and in countries like Israel, for example, who has the majority of their people vaccinated, has seen a huge decrease in spread and cases. So, and death, spread and death. And I think we need to pay attention to stuff like that and worry less about everyone's opinion on social media, everyone's opinion on a podcast, everyone's opinion on YouTube. So-and-so, Joe Schmo has a really good way of public speaking, so they put together a nice, supportive to their argument. Like, forget all that crap. Look at what's actually happening in places where it's actually being carried out, and let's freaking get it under control so we can live.
You got to love all the YouTube scientists out there right now.
God.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So just because you watched a video that makes you a professional, just because they watched one video, all of a sudden they're an expert.
Yes, well, a really good public speaker.
Drives me crazy.
I think we can all attest to being around a really good public speaker can motivate you to see what they're seeing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So when somebody's like really good at like presenting information and to push what they're talking about, like, it's intriguing. We can all fall a little bit, but you should always question, like, who are these people? What have they looked into? Is there a reason they're only looking at it this way? Like, I don't know. Forget it. I don't know. It's frustrating.
It really is.
I could really go all day with this topic.
I know. We have some people checking in, and your aunt's checking in. She's saying, haven't seen you since August, and your hair is different. Is your hair
just
different?
cut it. It was so long. I actually took 6 inches off it. It was so long.
Kristen Johnson agrees with you on everything that you're saying right now.
Oh,
thank you, Kristen. Thank you so much.
She's been a big mask maker. She made a lot of masks, sent them over to the house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Post how many masks you've been making.
Do you have a collection of masks right now?
Yeah. My favorite one actually she made. But I just keep them like wherever because I keep forgetting them. I think for a long time I didn't go anywhere, so I forgot that you needed to do that. So then I started to like leave them places. So yeah. But I have my favorites that I just kind of keep, like, try to keep those in my pocket. Like walking in here today, I'm like, shit, here it is in my pocket, But you always have to make sure we have them. So
I also want to bring up, you recently had a deal with COVID. What was that like?
So I'm glad you brought it up because I've been meaning to follow up with this. I tried to document my experience to share it with people so it was real life. I think as a health professional, I would consider that. I'm constantly promoting healthy choices in life.
Yep.
Even in my house, it's damn right annoying to the people that live with me. Like, I'm always like, all right, let's make some healthy choices, and I'm going to the gym and, healthy immune systems. Let me give you some background on what I stand for. Because constantly I see people commenting about, oh, your immune system, take care of your immune system. If you want, I was even that person. Like, I have a healthy immune system. I wasn't worried about it. I literally was in bed for 3 weeks. I lost 14 pounds.
Wow.
And, I went to the ER on Christmas Eve. My oxygen level wasn't low enough for them to bring me in and admit me, but it was getting there. I had a CAT scan. My lungs were full. It was horrible. And, I am still nursing my baby at the time. I didn't want to be taken away from her.
Right.
So I was doing everything I could. It was almost like a meditation, or even if people who lift weights or meditate or do anything that takes an extreme amount of focus can relate with this. That power to let everything else around you go and just focus within yourself is what I had to do to just breathe. Rolling over in bed was too much. So it was extremely difficult, and I think maybe a lot of it has to do with the fact that I had just had a baby. I don't know. But I think if anyone who looked at me and said, hey, Sean, you're only going to experience a runny nose and a bit of a sinus headache for a day, and Heather, you're going to be in bed for 3 weeks almost, and continuously, actually up until about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I've had vertigo and body aches. So long-term effects. That's what you're going to get, and that's what he's going to get based on your life, and your genetic whatever. I would never imagine that to be true, right? So just giving you my stance on immune systems. For example, my son, who's 5, has never been on antibiotics yet. I am not a believer in abusive medicine whatsoever. I don't take it for anything. I take it for if I'm hungover, because you know what? That's not my body's reaction to help me heal. That's a body's reaction to what I did yesterday, right? So, or muscle ache, you know, but I rarely ever take pills for anything. As far as exposing myself, I've traveled all over the place. I've been swimming in the Amazon River. Things that I've done to have a strong immune system are there. You know, my youngest daughter, not Nora, but my first batch, youngest daughter, she was about 8 years old before she had antibiotics the first time. So just to show you, I believe in creating a natural, strong immune system. It's super important in fighting off everyday, whatever, common colds and things like that. But that belief system did not help me with COVID. And I think that's really important for people to understand, to take it serious, wash your hands, wear your mask the right way, and don't touch your face until you can wash your hands if you've been somewhere in public, because that's what's happening. Oh, masks don't work. They don't work because we're not using them right. You see these guys walking around Walmart just so they can be in there and not get yelled at with a mask on like this big on his huge face. Yeah. You know, it's...
I know my rights.
Yes.
I know my rights.
Like, get over yourself.
Get
Come
over
on.
it.
Until it hits you in the pocket, you're not going to care. And that's killing me, you know. But
don't you love all the pro-lifers? The pro-lifers that are all like pro-life, but then they refuse to wear a mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Somebody
elderly
on this.
Yeah, I know. Like, again, we could have a whole podcast just about this.
Right.
Seriously. But just from my experience, I'm telling you, it's real. It's very dangerous. And
it also goes to show you that everybody's different. It affected Sean just with a simple runny nose. Yep. And then you were laid in bed for 3 weeks. So it affects everybody differently.
Everybody at my house had it.
Everybody?
Yep.
Even the baby?
Baby had it. Yeah. Yep. So I never
and
lost.
She's 7 months old.
She was 5.5 months at the time. Yeah.
How did she come through all this?
So she was just ornery, you know, a little grumpy for a couple of days. So really didn't affect the kids in any difficult way. My son had a fever for about a day and a half. He was so cute because he's like, I got a headache. And he's all like, he's never been sick. So I didn't know. I was kind of worried about how, when he told me he had the headache, I took his temp and he had a fever. And I was like, oh man. But what my oldest daughter was actually, you know, very sick for probably 4 days. But everyone else just had like kind of what Sean had, you know, just real quick. Yeah. And the funny thing, it was my birthday that he got the that he tested positive. The only reason he tested is because he had the runny nose and we were going to go out to dinner with a group of our friends that night, and I didn't want to do it if he was sick. So that was the yes we got, and then I started to experience symptoms the next day. So that kind of like, horrible.
So you probably had to deal with that for like a month or so, right? If it's going through your whole house.
Absolutely.
And around the holidays too.
Well, it destroyed our holidays. Yeah. So thank God we got it. Everyone pretty much started to experience it around the same time. So the clock was reset. At the latest, it was reset on the 24th. Mm-hmm. So we were really on lockdown until January 3rd. So it was real quick. I didn't shelter from everybody else. They tell you, this is like the health department is telling me over the phone when they're doing the contact tracing. When they call you like a week later after they hear you find it, and they want to know where you've been. Like, really? It's like a fucking week ago. Like,
I can't remember what I did 10 minutes ago.
Thanks for your concern of our society. Like, what a waste of a job. Like, you know, and I understand the intention of it. I understand. Like, I'm not, but come on. Like, if it takes you a week to find out so you can then go tell all the people that were in the same place a week later, you're way too late. Mm-hmm. So you need to, like, refocus on a better solution, because that is not a solution.
Even 2 days is late.
Yeah.
Right? It shouldn't be done right then and there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's why it doesn't make sense to do that altogether, because that's impossible, you know, to know until you have symptoms, right? So I feel like it should be more about, okay, let's figure out where we had, like, what we should be studying is like, who has it? What kind of blood types do we have? What kind of, you know, so we can prepare people like, okay, you fall into this category. You should be a little bit more careful because I think you're going to react to it differently than they did. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of like children. It's not as dangerous for children. There have been situations that have happened. So I'm not trying to take away from people who have literally had to spend their days in the ICU with their children being sick, because that has happened. But the minimal amount, you know, we should focus on, you know, because meanwhile, we got teenagers killing themselves, and we need to get them in the school so they can be social and do the things that they're naturally supposed to be doing. right? So I think our focus is on prevention when it's a silent thing. We can't prevent something that we can't measure when it's happening. You know, okay, so I went to these, and these places all in the last week. How the hell are you going to know how many people you've crossed paths with or not?
Right.
If I didn't make Sean go get tested, literally, I didn't make him, but I encouraged him, like, we can't go out to eat if you have a runny nose. Not now. You know, allergies are real. He could have easily not gone and get tested and just thought it was an allergy and just been at work, spreading it around, not knowing. And I guarantee that's happening.
Oh, for sure.
You know, because people do get allergies. And the likes of what he had was nothing more than what he would get as an, you know, that's why I'm like, oh, it's just like the cold. It's like a bad cold. Bullshit. Maybe for you it was. So
everybody's different.
Yeah, I think we need to pay attention to more precautionary measures on, if you haven't had it yet, you know, getting the vaccines out there, paying attention to who could be more effective. If there's a way to measure, you know, why my body reacted the way it did versus him, like, let's study that so we can, you know, understand and take measures on, you know, a proactive instead of reactive, you know.
And case in point, too, Heather, a lot of people say with the underlying issues, other health ailments that people might have it really destroy you with this COVID. And you're healthy. You're a very healthy woman. You work out, you exercise, you're in great shape. And you don't really have any underlying issues, but it still destroyed you for like over almost a month.
Yep.
And so that also goes into effect, too, where people are like, oh, well, you got underlying issues, so... You know, there's always an excuse on top of it where, you know,
absolutely.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, the underlying issue thing is almost debatable as well, because some people, it's not getting into their lungs. So if you're asthmatic, what if it doesn't go into your lungs? Because there's a lot of people that haven't had that experience. So does it really matter? You know, is it really asthma that makes you more vulnerable than somebody like me? I don't have asthma. I don't have cardiovascular problems. I was having heart palpitations. I literally just had a baby over 200 pounds. I was so huge for this baby. And I didn't have high blood pressure at all. I just have a very healthy cardiovascular system. But during COVID, I had heart palpitations. You know, so there's something else we need to be studying versus worrying about where you've been, truly. So, yeah.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. Well, we didn't sit here to talk about COVID all day. You know, and I tell people, I'm like, I'm so sick of talking about COVID, but it's important to have these conversations.
Yeah.
You know, because we've been talking about it for a year now. If you think about it, it's been almost a year.
Yeah.
And here we are, still stuck in the house, still on a lockdown.
Yeah.
I did see today that Cuomo is going to start opening up arenas.
Yes.
Thank God I could probably finally go back to work.
I think about all my
soon.
friends in music.
Yeah,
you know,
we've been sitting around doing nothing.
The creators of our culture. This is so sad.
I got 4 jobs in one industry, and it all got wiped out. You know, and thinking, oh, I got all these side hustles going on, and no, it's gone.
Yeah.
Thank God for this, or I would have killed somebody by now. But anyways.
Yeah.
But anyways, you have a bunch of stuff going on.
Yes.
Yes, and that's why we are here to talk about your women's retreat that you got going on in Puerto Rico. It's going on, second week of April? Talk a little bit about that.
April 10th through the 17th.
Okay.
It's the all-women's, it's like an adventure, you know, adventure slash wellness. Oh my God, I had to like stop.
It's the coffee.
Yeah, or just brain dead. The lack of like movement in life.
The lack of being out of the house.
yeah, baby brain. So it's April 10th through the 17th. It's the Women's Wellness. This is going to be actually my 3rd Women's Wellness, 4 of all retreats. It's been such a successful event for me, and not in ways of life-changing experiences, truly, for the women that attend. So this year, it's a unique year to be able to leave and go somewhere. You know, of course, there's things I have in mind, like the infrastructure of the healthcare system in Puerto Rico, for example. Like, I'm not looking to show up with a bunch of COVID cases and you know.
Spread it.
I want to make sure I cover that because this is a concern right now, you know. So I want to make it very clear that we rent a house on the beach that's ours. It's just us. And this location is stunning. It's an amazing, amazing luxury house right on the water. It has a pool, and it's just us. So if people are extremely concerned about where they can quarantine or where they can be away from people and not have interaction, it's no problem at all. And some of the hiking we do, we're in the woods. we're in the woods away from people. And that's something I've taken into concern. I'm not looking to create a problem down there on the island and showing up. And, we do have to have a negative test 72 hours. As of now, things I'm watching, and I'll definitely educate people as it gets closer, what they need to be doing if they choose to go. Right now, is if we were leaving tomorrow, we'd have to have a negative test within 72 hours of taking the trip. And there's a form to fill out that you have to hand in when you get there. But there's no quarantine rules if you take that test. As far as curfew on the island, it's at midnight. There's not much we're going to be doing at midnight anyways.
Right.
And we just still can do our thing. And I go hiking and different beaches. We also take this one hike in the mountains where we're actually at a river in freshwater, which is really cool. It's this fresh blue Caribbean look, but it's a river. So it's really neat. And we're good to go.
And you do like a lot of round table type of things as well too.
I do some group
like
facilitation.
Yoga and
yeah. Yep. Yoga. I have a yogi that comes, and I also have a chef. So it's really a refreshing experience that has a little bit of everything. We wake up in the morning, there's yoga. Then we have breakfast. Then I usually do some sort of group facilitation just to set the tone for the day. So some of the activities are more fun and interactive, and some of them are more like, let's chat about this or that. I do a little bit of educational pieces that I practice every day as a coach in my office with people. So just getting them to think about things differently, taking responsibility for the way they're looking at things, where they're at in their life, how are we responsible for this, and how can I literally see it differently or act differently to make it to get a different result, So we do a little bit of that, and sometimes it goes deep. Sometimes it's more like, fuck it, today, let's do this instead, So it's super chill. And the group brings together a vibe. Every year it's been a little bit different. The first year was more, when I say 10 o'clock, it's more or less coming around 10 o'clock. Last year was more like, oh my gosh, it's 10:15. We got to get moving, So the vibe comes when the group gets together and it just goes. And I follow an agenda purposely without times. We accomplish all the same things as it's needed. So it's been an awesome experience that is life-changing for women.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you've been doing this how many years now?
Almost 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like a year ago to the day you were doing it. You were going live from Puerto Rico. We were broadcasting it here with Unstoppable.
I know.
Was it about a year ago?
What
was the last one?
Well, the last one was in January of last year.
January, okay.
So just over a year ago we were there. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. So that's which I got to get my podcast going again. It's been,
Yeah, we miss you.
I know. I miss it. I miss what I was doing,
You're
it was
killing
like
it.
Spreading hope and just
It's
really hearing cool stories.
It's not like life didn't get in the way for you or anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, it was the baby originally, and now I think I'm in that rut of laziness at the same time, because there's a lot goes on behind the scenes of creating good material in a podcast. So,
for sure.
But for now, keeping it the things that mean a lot to me and create great change, I'm taking a couple of clients a day. That's it. I'm only having a part-time schedule right now with that, and then the retreat. So I have some awesome stuff coming up in the near future that I'll announce when all is said and done and ready to be announced. But for now, so the retreat's my baby. I just want to see it happen this year.
Being a life coach, though, I imagine people are knocking down on your door right now to kind of get in and have some sessions with you throughout this quarantine.
Yeah, I've had to be really careful about setting boundaries. Yeah, because I'm also in this with you, and I don't want to overextend my abilities and say that I'm coaching and I'm really just not, So I've had to be careful in how I work as well. So to make sure that I'm not overextended and just kind of lacking integrity in my position as a coach. You want to make sure that you're in line with that and practicing what you preach.
Right.
There came a point, I think, when I was home with the baby. I am home with the baby, but before I was working again, that I was, do as I say, not as I do. And I hadn't been in the gym in months, and that's my medicine. That's looking at myself not going to the gym is a big deal. That's when I've hit a low. So I was able to get back into the gym, start working out again, and then COVID hit. So that was rough. But no,
Is it hard for you to work out at home?
It is. I feel like I need to remove myself from that environment.
Yeah.
It's not really conducive to that for me. The focus isn't there. There's just so much going on. And in my you know, I think a lot of even my clients, I have clients who don't particularly need to work on their patterns. They're solid right now. I think we can all fall into a funk at any given time, but sometimes they're not in a funk. They just want the accountability to have that conversation about something they're working on, you know, and that's cool. I feel like my experience in the gym, having a trainer, is literally having accountability to get there. You know, I know what I need to do when I get there, but I really enjoy having the accountability and the motivation of somebody cheering me on, you know, and then kind of like thinking about things that I'm not thinking about either, you know, so.
Take your mind off of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no, I can't be distracted by a child, somebody arguing or bickering or the dishes in the sink for all that, you know. So I like having a trainer and getting away.
Exercising is definitely therapeutic. Do you find it to be meditative too for you? Like when you're in the zone exercising, can you like get into that zone and start to almost barely meditate?
Yeah. Have you ever lifted weights?
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Yeah. So that moment, yes. So if everyone's like, oh, you're going to get jacked. Oh, that's not true. So like, if we want to talk about that, we can. If not, like what I'm going to explain right now, I feel I never lifted. I was a runner forever.
Right.
I was like an athlete who grew up and then realized like, crap, if I want to keep my body healthy, I need to do something. So then I became a runner. I got involved with the Boilermaker. And then I got to the point where I plateaued on how I wanted to look. So like running wasn't doing it for the only thing anymore. So I wanted to add like lifting. So I did. And what I found is that really to get the most out of it, I had to get to the point that I was being like lifting something heavy. And in order to do that, I really had to focus on something and get out of my head and into my body on getting this bar up. Right? So I would focus on something in the distance. And if you focus and shut up, stop talking, like if you're having a conversation while you're working out, you're not working hard enough, you know, and focus on something and just push it out and get it out. And I think that exertion of energy is really good for the natural rage I experience. And which is normal. I don't think we talk about that enough. So like that's why it's really important for me to do things like that. So that's the moment of meditation. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Yeah. So if you've lifted before and you tell like when you have one more rep, you got to get out. That moment of like getting out of your head and getting in your body and just like, you know, you almost even make that sound, right? So that's like, yeah.
And the trusting yourself too. To get that up.
Yeah.
And to move that way and, you know, to get those reps in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Motivation, dedication, and commitment. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Those three things are the rules of the gym. And if you can follow by those three rules, you know, you can actually get yourself feeling pretty healthy.
Yeah.
You know? And then aligning your chakras is super important, right?
Yeah. 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 I don't follow that as much. Like
you don't.
But I know about it. And I think it's really important. Like if you follow something that fits you and it works, just do it.
Exactly.
Even if somebody you love very much thinks you're weird, don't listen to that.
Right.
Like, you got to do the things that work for you to take care of your health.
Exactly.
Physically and mentally, and it goes together.
Don't be influenced by the negativity of others.
Yeah. Well, they're insecurities of understanding how that works.
Right.
Right. And it doesn't matter how it works because it works for you. So they don't need to understand how that works because you're bringing your own biases and your own experiences and what you believe in to the table. And if it works for you, you have to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right on. What else you got going on? I feel like you're really busy.
I mean, Sean and I just got engaged. That was a big deal.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Did we set a date?
No.
No. It's kind of hard to set a date right now, isn't it? Because
I'm in
the
no
uncertainty,
rush.
right?
Yeah. I mean, not that this takes away from any of it, but I want to do it. Like, I want to do it right. I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
I actually want to have like a party. I want to do something, you know, and we were both married years and years and years ago. And even though I'm only like 27, but we were married like...
And this joke was brought to you by Saranac Brewery. Visit them at saranac.com.
So, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I want it to be special. So we both have children already, and I want them to be a part of it. And they are a big part of it already in our relationship. So, and they're so happy. So why can't they be a part? So I want to wait till Nora is actually a little bit older. So she's walking. I'd like her to be the little flower girl.
Aww.
And that's pretty much the extent of the conversation. You know, my girl's standing up for me. His girl's standing up for him. Mateo's our best man. And that's pretty much the extent of the conversation.
Yeah,
know?
you really haven't set any plans.
No, we have a savings plan and an idea about that. And when we hit a certain point, we'll set a date and we'll just go with that.
Aw,
you know,
congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
That's so cool.
It's a big deal. I think Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm actually going to be on the Syracuse News tonight and talking about couples and the work I've done with couples.
Okay.
And it's just really cool that this has evolved in my life, because if you asked me about couples 10 years ago, I'm like, what are we doing on Tinder tonight? Like, I have so many stories, you know? And I mean, we could literally talk about like crazy stories that I had, nothing too crazy that like, wow, I can't imagine that ever happening to me. Well, maybe, but not bad, you know, but just a lot of fun that I had. And adventure. I did a lot of like dating, like going on a hike and going on like just crazy stuff. Like I learned a lot about Puerto Rico going on adventures, you know, because of Tinder. And but I think, you know, now that my coaching has also evolved into including couples, it's really powerful how my experience in my personal life and what I had to face to change it has been brought now into lives of others. To help them.
Are you doing more couple sessions?
I have couples, yeah. So I wouldn't say it's more, but it's new for me.
It's new,
you know.
okay.
So I didn't offer that in the beginning, but that's how everything has evolved. I started out with only women, and then it evolved to men, and that's an honor because men need emotional intelligence. We don't have a society that grows emotional men, and we need that.
Because we're all taught to be macho.
Yeah,
and like,
man
you're
up.
not supposed to
yeah,
cry.
you're crying
man
like a
up and-
girl. Yeah. So I'm honored to see that evolve. And then from there, I think as I become more solid in my life and with love and relationship, and to put it true to the test, the work that I've had to face, you know, the difference of serial dating and intentional dating. You know, there's a big difference.
Define serial
talk about
dating.
this?
Serial dating, what is that?
Just going on any date, looking for anything, it's fun, you know, just whatever you're going to get out of it. But it's a big fucking waste of time. And if you're a guy who's paying for all that, it's a big waste of your money.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at what you're really looking for. Are you looking to settle down, or are you looking to serial date and have a good time? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I'm not here to judge any of it. It's an important phase to go through, I think. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. But if you just, you know, want to really settle down, you have to be intentional with how you're going to spend your time. And start asking questions that you actually want answers to, or start acting like the person you'd want to date. You know, if you can't date yourself, you're not going to be dating anyone else. You know?
True.
So
good point.
Yeah. So, you know, I think even my engagement, it's like really a celebration for me in my heart about my, first of all, willingness to face my own shit, drag myself through the mud that I needed to question, you know, where I've been and how I've come through it, and really understand how things panned out the way that they did. You know, what was I really pursuing? What was I doing? And with Sean, I've been right in the beginning, like, he's afraid to come on any shows with me, I think, to talk about our story. But
he's just afraid to come on any shows, period. Not just with you.
That's true. So to be vulnerable, you know, but with us together, I think it's been right from the beginning, like, you know, this is what I'm looking for. And really, as an independent, powerful person, just to step back and like allow him time to show up. And he continuously would show up, and I think that was really powerful for us. But then also him have something happen, or it's like, okay, you know, like, I need to say this right now, and me to just shut up and let him do it, you know. So it was really important. A lot of things happened for us to grow and be the people we are today, to be compatible and have this rock solid foundation in clarity, you know, in sobriety and things like that, you know, because we both like to have a good time. But if you can only have a good time to create the relationship, that's not the right way to do it.
There's got to be a challenge there, right?
Yeah. Like, you have, like, I want to make sure that when I sit next to somebody in clarity, they like to spend time with me.
Right.
In sobriety, they still like to spend time with me, you know, and then we'll celebrate, you know, and then we'll have a good time. So, you know, so I think that was a big thing for us that we were able to overcome. And anyone who knows Sean should be so proud of him,
right,
to see the things that he's done in his life at a personal level, at a deep personal level, to be the man he is today. And I'm super proud of that. He definitely
did a 180.
Yeah.
From where he
needed
was
that though.
Yeah.
And when I see people, he's gonna be mad.
Sorry,
when I
Sean.
see people make
Sean Smith,
tease
this
him,
is your life.
When I see people tease him, or anybody that was at that level, you're playing with death. You're literally, not that that's where he was, but he had some difficult times, I think, and when you're playing with that and you're encouraging it and you think it's funny, you are not a real friend, and you got to be careful. Like the people that usually are that way with you are also in that level with you. So when you're getting out of that level, they don't like that because it requires change in them in order to still be your friend.
Yep.
And they love you that much. So but they get scared because they don't want to change.
I've been there.
So yeah. And I see that happen, but I see that happen with other people as well. How many bar stools are we going to dedicate to somebody's memory?
Right.
And how many years are they going to sit there? And we just encourage that in them, like I'm all about having a good time, but we have to take care of ourselves.
Gave me the chills, actually.
Yeah.
Because it's true. I can't begin to tell you how many friends I've lost throughout the years. And like you said, dedicating the bar stool in their memory.
Yeah.
And
that's how many times do we encourage it, and I think COVID has had a lot of times now where we've had to face this. As I reach 40, and I've experienced this myself, we see people die who are our age from things that they could have stopped, but we were sitting right there with them because that was fun at the time, and I. For all the more reason I'm proud of Sean to step up and say, even to these friends, like not fall for it anymore.
Right.
Like I love you guys, but I'm here when you need me, and kind of thing. And that was really hard for him.
Yeah.
But he did it, and he, some people are like, you made him. Hell no, because I am not having some fake ass relationship where I built a foundation by myself and forced him to stand up. He needed to build it himself and show up. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And it's good to love from afar, too. I mean, if they're still your people and they're still your friends, you can love them from afar.
Oh, my God. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The other thing about this quarantine thing, it's a good time for everybody to reset. That's the silver lining in this whole quarantine thing, that you can tell the environment's starting to clean up a little bit more because we're all not out doing our things and stuff. But it's also us as humans, it's given us a time to reset and actually put things in perspective of which way you want to go in life now. Do you want to go back into your same old rut, or do you want to like move up out of that and try to level up,
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I feel like that this quarantine, and hopefully the majority of society decides to get out of the rut and take action into their own lives.
Absolutely. And I think this is kind of wrapping it all up, that the things I have coming up are going to be major. And it's profound changes to the things that I've witnessed in my own life, things that I've witnessed in the lives of those that matter to me around me, things that I've witnessed in my clients' lives. When we talk about even just drinking or any kind of rescue out there where we avoid the shit we're going through, we're not avoiding that moment in particular. We're avoiding how we feel about something, right? So where can I work even harder to create profound change that created the desire for those things to be happening? Does that make sense? So, I just, my work is still, it's going to be more powerful, but at a profound level, and continue to do what I'm doing right now, but add more where I can actually make sustainable changes before all this shit happens, and no different than a couple. Couples come to me because they're having a problem. Come to me before you get married. Let's talk about core values. Let's talk about being on the same page before all this happens, right? Because that is creating a foundation that when shit hits the fan, you've got a cushion to fall on, because this is what you've talked about from the beginning, versus like waiting until
6 years into the marriage.
Yeah, and you realize, oh shit, well, we spent a lot of time hanging out at the bar and we didn't really have these conversations. But I married him because he was a really good time. I've been there. We were together 3 years, so it was what we were supposed to do. That's the next thing. We've been there, So let's talk about what we can do to set the foundations to having healthy things happening in life. So, and
great words.
Yeah.
That's smart too. Why wait?
Yeah.
If you're going to, that 7-year plan kind of is a thing. You know what I mean? You hit that 7-year wall, I should say, when you hit that one and then all of a sudden it's just like, I don't know if I'm feeling it anymore, or blah, 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 blah. It's happened to me before. It's happened to all of us, but you hit that wall.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't even know if I want to be here anymore. But you know what? If we went to counseling prior to all this, maybe we would never hit that wall.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think this is going to go deep a little bit. Some people, I lose people when I do this, but it's fine. I feel like the world works the way it does. The universe works the way it does. We get shown these situations to show the things that we need to work on within ourselves. You know, so when a breakup happens or something very difficult, it's a very loud situation in our life that forces us to look within ourselves. COVID hit everybody. It's like, is it a coincidence that it was during the year 2020, the year of perfect vision? You know, everything was disrupted. You're left to your own, whatever you have in life, and you got to figure it out, right? It's an extremely loud lesson to face your shit. You know, and breakups are like that too. They happen every now and again, you know? So what can we do to take responsibility for where we are and where we want to be versus where we are? So breakups are another thing, you know, when you hit that 7-year mark, you know, I truly believe we can love anyone. We just need to face why we feel the way that we feel at that moment, you know, and sometimes that takes a step back.
Or don't you feel you got to love yourself before you can give love, though?
You can only love yourself as much, you can only love somebody else as much as you love yourself. So, and sometimes that takes some time.
Yeah.
So, and some work.
Yeah.
And, you know, unlearning old behaviors or unlearning old belief systems or unlearning old things that just aren't working anymore.
It's hard to unlearn, though. How do you unlearn things?
So you can read more about this. It's like neuroplasticity. You know, it's the ways our brain does things that we naturally do. It's subconsciously we just react that way because that's how we've always learned how to do it, and that's
impulse.
what keeps us safe. Yeah. So our knee-jerk reactions are something that are literally learned in the first 7 years of your life. That is your subconscious. There's science behind that. This isn't just me on my opinion. That is the base of my coaching. You know, this is what I do talk about these things. But the affirmations, right? To start to, first of all, design the vision, right? Talk about what the vision should look like based on your emotions. Well, I want the relationship of my dreams. Well, what does that look like? It doesn't look like anything, right? It's a feeling. What does it feel like? What do I want it to feel like? Well, I want this, this, and this. Okay, so start doing those things that give you that kind of pleasure, right? Well, I'm afraid. Well, why are you afraid? Well, because I don't want to be told no. Well, then you're afraid of rejection. So you better get really comfortable with rejection because it's going to happen. You have to focus that if you're told no, then at least they're saving you the time that they're not going to give you these things that you're looking to feel. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I use a whiteboard when I'm doing this with people so I can, you know, visually instruct.
Do you have a pointer?
Yeah. Well, it helps follow. So, but if something isn't going the way you want it to feel, then why the fuck are you doing it?
Right.
So, and you base that off of other people's reactions as well. Like you literally set that tone, like this is what I want. If you don't like it, that's okay. Go on your way. I'm still on this pursuit of my relationship of my dreams or whatever it is, your career of your dreams, your financial picture, whatever it is that you're working on. So did I answer your question? I feel like I'm getting on a tangent.
No, it's been a tangent for the last hour. What are you talking about?
I know.
I knew it was going to be like this.
Yeah.
It's the way it always goes when we get together. But you know, you got to love yourself, and self-love is the most important thing, and then it just blossoms from there, right?
Yeah. The neuroplasticity, that's how we got in there.
Neuroplasticity. Say that again?
Neuroplasticity.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try.
It's the flexibility of just the way our brain works, right?
Okay.
Just unlearning things, recognizing where we learned something,
Yeah.
looking back, where did I learn this? And just seeing how, like, you know what could be more conducive to my life right now. I'm reacting like an 8-year-old right now because that's literally when I learned this. How can I really do something that's more conducive to, you know, a 40-year-old person? So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It is all interesting stuff, and you're doing some great stuff out there, Heather.
Yeah,
you
thanks.
You are.
Yeah.
Keep it going. It's
Absolutely.
amazing at how you can juggle all this stuff and be a mom and have a household of 9 people and run a job and maintain Big Sexy and do all this other stuff that you're doing.
Everyone's
It's just
responsible
like,
for themselves.
It's like amazing at how you do it. You're like Wonder Woman. Do you sleep?
I do.
You do.
I do from like midnight to 5. No.
You get that 5 hours in there?
Yeah. No, I mean, I probably sleep like 7 hours a night. But yeah, that's pretty much all my body has ever required. So sometimes it would be nice to sleep a little more. But we have a new baby. So
Yeah, so you're not
she's
sleeping
doing
at
great,
all.
actually. But she does still wake up once a night. And that's, you know.
Hey, par for the course.
Yeah.
Par for the course.
Yeah.
One more time, plug Puerto Rico and the retreat, April 10th, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
April 10th through the 17th. You fly into Rincon, or fly into San Juan. I literally pick you up at the airport. I provide everything, including food,
Really?
and all the adventures. So you can find more information about it. Connect with me on social media. I'm Instagram, Facebook, and my website, unstoppableyoucoach.com. So
It's women's only, right?
Women's only.
Okay.
Yep, right now. And April 10th through the 17th. It's awesome. It's a really, really, really life-changing experience. Provide you everything. Oh, really important too. Airfare right now is insanely cheap.
Yeah, right.
So if there's a year that you've wanted to do this, this is the year for sure. Because of the airfare being cheap. That's the only thing I don't include. So
Our spots filling up.
I have spots available. Yeah. And this year is tough. I'm
Yeah.
getting a lot of questions, but it's scary and I understand. But I reassure you that I'm not looking to do anything that would jeopardize you or the people in Puerto Rico. Or the healthcare system. I don't want to create a situation down there by showing up. So we will follow all the guidelines that are in place on the island, social distancing. We stay in our own house. It's not like we're in a facility where we're mixed with other people. We're not in a hotel. You're not in a situation like that. So the only thing the plane ride, I guess, would be the place you're near people, but they're also wearing masks and travel is happening. It's actually increasing at this point. So if now would be the time to get your tickets. And I always tell people, check Syracuse, check Albany as well. It's an additional 20 minutes. Sometimes you can get cheaper flights out of Albany.
Yeah, you can.
So I always do that. We're right in the middle practically. So, but you fly into San Juan and I pick you right up there. So you have nothing to worry about. It's really, truly a refreshing experience. And there are many, if you're listening from Utica, New York right now, there are many business professionals or just regular women from this area that have been on the trip.
Yep.
And they're willing to talk about it. It's, I'm not going to sell it. It sells itself.
Do you have a lot of repeat travelers?
I have a girl coming this year again that was there last year. So, and then I had another one last year that went on the first one. So yeah, I've had,
Awesome.
It's that awesome. Yeah. And when you look at, it's not a cheap thing to do. So when you see people, I think that speaks volumes. They're willing to go twice.
Yeah.
So,
do you put a cap on it on how many ladies can show up?
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up because that's important to me, to have time for each of them and make it a valuable experience. It's not like you literally get time with me. And I want that for you. So whatever it is you're going through in life that you want to talk about, you get that time and you get that proximity to each other. There's no cliques. There's not enough people to have that. So it's a sisterhood that happens naturally. And it's really cool to see that flow out in the end of the week. They're just really,
real tight probably by the end of the week.
And there's group texts, that still happen.
Yeah.
And, I had someone come from Buffalo and meet me and surprise me the other day. That's, that whole, just really cool to see that unfold but be this real, true relationship with these other women that come there for each other, for me too. I don't always know them. I've had random women show up from all over the United States. So, I just love it. I love it. I love what it creates for them and how the feedback after the fact, how life-changing it was. It means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It really means a lot to me. That's why I do what I do.
Would you plan on doing a mixed retreat?
I would love to do that again. Let's make it happen. It's such a cool thing. And it doesn't have to be about coaching. It's just really cool because I know what I'm doing down there and we can do a lot of cool stuff. So, but it's a lot of work to pull off.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap. I provide the chef and all of that. And that's a lot. It's a big thing to pull off. So I'm willing to do it if people are willing to go, but I would love to do a co-ed one again. Because, men need that too.
Yeah.
I would love to do one. This would be cool. Just men, but because I'm a woman, I don't know if they'd want to go, So, but I think there's something to be said for putting people into a group and opening this Pandora's box of personal growth work and letting them deal with it. And I think I could sign up for that. I literally would love to provide that. Knowing how I have male clients as it is, and that men are interested in actually doing this type of work, I wonder if they would sign up for that, I'd be down for it. I'd have to have my own rooms far away because they stink and fart a lot. But I think it would be great. I think it would be great.
It would be cool.
Yeah. So
Heather Beebe, you're such an inspiration.
Thanks.
You really are. You're an influential woman, and I am blessed to be in the circle with you. So
Thanks,
thank you
Steve.
so much for
Yeah.
coming in
I'm
and
happy to
doing
be
this.
here.
And let's do this more often.
Yeah.
And let's get your podcast back rolling
know.
again.
We will.
Maybe,
We
maybe
will
when
soon.
Nora gets older.
Yeah.
When she gets a little bit older.
Or she could be here,
Yeah,
just
for sure.
running
I'll
around
watch her.
She would rip up those cameras and the.
I'm a great Uncle Z.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm the best uncle
She would
ever.
love to be here.
You would
Yeah.
you would hate it though, me being your uncle.
Sean's
Because
her father. I think I can handle
I
it.
get them all wound up, and then I'm like, all right, here you go, kid. Go back to your parents.
I mean, that's how we parent in general. I
Right.
mean, you can't imagine. I think we have a fun house. I
For
really do.
sure.
Sometimes I can't handle
There's
it.
9 of you. How could it not be fun?
Yeah, yeah,
It's a big household.
yeah,
Keep it going.
yeah. I appreciate it.
Keep influencing. Keep creating. You're doing some great stuff. So
Yeah.
keep in touch. Tell Sean I said
Absolutely.
hello after
I
we
will.
just got done talking about him for a little while there. I miss him. Tell him to come on the show, actually.
Yeah. I hope people, see that story,
Actually-
and see our story, and
Can you do me a
reach out.
favor?
Yeah.
We're doing and this is coming up on March 29th. We're doing a fundraiser for the Stephen Swan Humane Society here at the D. We do Animal Jam every year with Bring 'em Down Productions and Rich Masucci and Erica Moss every year, but obviously we couldn't do it this year because of COVID, so I decided to do it here in the D. And we're getting a whole bunch of acoustic musicians to play, and Mark Mackery's coming, and
I think
Max
Sean's
Sheldon,
coming.
and
I'm
that's.
just kidding.
Can you talk him into it? Because I feel like you're
I
the
have
only
a
one
way
that can
with
talk
him.
him into anything around here. I've asked him to come on so many times, but he dogs me and he just doesn't
Yeah,
want to do it. I
yeah.
get it. It's all good.
Yeah.
I understand. You're busy too.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got a real job now too. So, but then if I ask you to ask him, then he usually does.
Yeah,
Like, okay,
I think
honey.
there is times that he has to say no. He's got to believe in the mission. So I think it's important to have like a good thing to support, and he likes to do that, especially veterans. He's always down to do stuff with them.
The vets, yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. He is one himself.
Yeah.
So he's a good man.
Yeah.
Definitely a good man. So much love to you, Big Sexy. And I'm still trying to get him to drop that moniker. I break his balls about it all the time. Drop
You-
that moniker.
So, like all the kids have these hoodies. I'm like,
You
we
guys
can't
are like a
bring
gang
that when
over
we
there.
go visit my grandmother.
One big
like-
sexy gang.
Yeah, like the baby, it's not allowed. Like, you're not getting a onesie with that shit on it. Like, I'm not putting that on the baby, But
Wow, that's hilarious.
yeah,
March 29th, though. It's going to be here,
Okay.
and we're doing the social distancing, and everybody's going to bring their own microphone, their own guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to have them come in, one in, one out type of thing. And
yeah.
so that's, It's for
Yeah.
all for the Stephen Swan Humane Society, because, of course, I like dogs more than I like people.
Yeah, aw, that's cool. I believe it.
Especially lately.
Do you know, dogs are actually the natural state of a human. So if you learn, seriously, so I'll explain really quick before
Yeah,
we have to end things.
course.
So the first 3 years of life, we're at our natural state. We'll cry when we want to. We'll throw ourselves on the floor in the grocery store when we want something and we don't get it. We'll do whatever we don't care. Somebody dangles a keychain in front of a baby's face, instantly they're happy again, right? So we go from emotion to emotion, like with no problem. Think of a dog. You yell at it when it does something bad, instantly forgives you if you start changing your tone of voice and like loves you back, So like if we could all be more like dogs, we would definitely have a more peaceful life.
Great way to end this podcast.
Grudges.
Great way to end this podcast. You're so right, too. And that unconditional love, you can leave the house
Unconditional.
for 2 seconds and come back, and that dog is so happy to see you again, even though you
And
only
they
left for
forgive.
5 seconds.
They forgive.
Yeah.
They don't hold grudges. Yeah. So be
Uncle,
like a dog.
Uncle Groovy's saying hello to you. Too.
He is a joy spreader. He really is.
And then Spencer Cat is saying hi, Beebs. So
Hi.
You got some fans out there. How can people get in touch with you? Rifle off your website and your social media tags.
Yeah, so unstoppableyoucoach.com, my website, you can find all my tags there. But Unstoppable You Coach on Instagram and Unstoppable You Coach, you can find my Facebook page. I'm actually on Clubhouse too, Unstoppable You.
What's Clubhouse?
You don't have Clubhouse yet?
I don't need another social media.
Yeah, I know, but I think this one is worth paying attention to.
Is it?
I think it is. Yeah, I think you could actually set up a little mic here on the side and have that happening right now. Have this conversation and people can be hopping on. So I don't understand it fully enough, the full potential of it to talk about it with you right now. But I do know it's it's shut right now, so you can only get on invite only. So as it grows, it's working out the quirks and stuff.
It's in
So
infancy stage.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's loud. I think it's very good, and you can get some really good material off there as
Cool.
well. So
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse,
I'll look into it after this.
Unstoppable You. So Yeah.
Look into it after. I saw Sean saying hello. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
We just got done talking about you, so rewind this and you can hear all the shit that we talked about you.
And it's all good stuff.
No, it's all good. Sean, I got a lot of love for you, brother. You know that. And you too, Heather. So, yeah,
Right.
keep inspiring, keep doing your thing,
Thanks,
and
E.
you're doing some awesome stuff. And
Thank you.
also, I want to get all you guys out there to support my sponsors, because if not for my sponsors, this podcast is not possible. Thank you to EJA Moving Services. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his crew at 315-335-0516. If you need legal advice, call my attorney, Dave Longaretta, 315-735-6162. Thank you to Utica Coffee and, of course, my good friends at the Saranac Brewery for keeping us hydrated around here each and every day. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow, I'm with the Uncle Louie boys, so we'll be on tomorrow with members only, right around 8 o'clock, so that should be a good time, like it always is with those guys. We always have a good time. So, and then I'll be back next week, so like, comment, subscribe, all things on Disruption Network social media tags, and I'll see you later tomorrow. See ya. Thanks, Heather. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.